Welcome to this week's edition of The Real Deal. Now, I've made some notes today because what I'm going to talk to you about is very important and could in fact ultimately affect your next purchase decision, whether you're an owner-occupier or an investor. Now, I came across the idea for this topic by subscribing to Michael Yardney's blog. And if you don't, I do suggest you do that. You're welcome to inbox me and I'm happy to point you in his direction. But he's been talking a little bit lately about the 20-minute neighbourhood. Now, being based in Victoria, this is in fact a government initiative from the Victorian government. Now, what actually is a 20-minute neighbourhood? Think COVID, all right? Think we're in a lockdown or we are locked into a community. What does that community have to offer? I think too often we're looking at the bling and the taps and the sink and the kitchen and all those things, and we're not actually thinking long-term about what happens if we're stuck in this place. Now, if we can't walk anywhere and there's nowhere to go, it's probably not going to be quite as appealing. So let's talk about what the Victorian government have identified in the 20-minute neighbourhood, and these are the things which constitute the 20-minute neighbourhood. First of all, local employment. Well, you've got to pay for this property, right? Or your children might need somewhere to work. If you're a little bit older in age and they're beginning to go into the workforce, you've got to be in a community where there are jobs. No point moving up somewhere beautiful like the Sunshine Coast with the best beaches in the world, but then there's no employment like what happened in the GFC. So you've got to think long term. Are there employment opportunities? Is it well connected to public transport? Have you only got a bus service, or is a bus and a train? Those are very important, your services and your networks. Are there safe cycling networks? You know, more and more of us are turning a little bit greener. We're also wanting to be healthy and fit, and you want to be able to get on a bicycle if need be and be able to cycle. Is there walkability? Now, if you're in a regional area, you can't just walk to the pharmacy or walk to a coffee place. You want to be able to walk within 20 minutes to your destination, and that's what determines the walkability score. Is there a diversity of housing? Are they just blingy expensive houses? Are they just townhouses and units? Or is there a range of different things? Coorparoo, great example. You've got your multi-million-dollar houses, but yet you've got your humble unit, and you've got a few townhouses there too. Not too many, but there are a few here and there. That's a very diverse suburb. Same with Morningside. There's some suburbs that are just more diverse than others. Because of that, you want to be able to also grow old there as well. So if you've lived in a beautiful, magnificent house and then you're downsizing, you don't really want to downsize too far away. So you want to be able to age in that location and be able to downscale. And that's really where it comes down to the next point, which is affordability in terms of housing options. Now, the next one is safe streets and spaces to hang out. Very important that you can sit on a bench and not feel that you are being harassed or endangered. Fortunately, in Australia, we don't have anywhere near the level of problems that we have in other parts of the world, but obviously it's important that you feel safer than not. Sports facilities, well, we all love to keep fit and healthy. Well, I certainly do, and I want some green spaces. I want some spaces to exercise. I want to know there's a gym nearby. I want to know my kids can kick a ball if they want to or play a game of cricket. So sports facilities are important, as are gardens, recreation spaces, playgrounds, green spaces and parks. And of course, that also brings about the importance of dog parks. You really want to be able to walk your dog somewhere and get to mingle with other people with similar interests. You need learning places. Let's not forget schools, TAFEs, universities, kindergartens, childcare centres, places where we can get educated. And of course, healthcare centres, clinics, and access to hospitals, and of course not being so far away if there's an emergency and you need an ambulance. And last but not least, I'm trying not to spend money this year, shopping centres, trying not to spend money on clothes. Shopping centres, all right, we all love to shop, or some of us do, some of us are trying not to, but we also want to be able to go to the mall or be able to go down the high street. So those are all the things that make up your 20-minute neighbourhood. So when you are looking at purchasing an investment property, or in fact your next home, ask yourself those questions, read this again, make some notes, and perhaps you might even like to follow Michael Yardney for some extra inspiration and knowledge.